Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here. So we got some breaking stadium news for the Washington Commanders. A $3 billion deal is close. The Commanders are expected to contribute up to $2.5 billion. It's looking like the Washington Commanders will be going back to DC and their former stadium from their glory days, RFK. Let's talk about it in today's video. If you guys are new, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I don't even gotta say it, but go ahead and subscribe. Trying to hit 16K subscribers. It's not gonna happen before the draft, but go ahead and do it. It's free, takes 1 second, and if you just subscribe, go ahead and comment down below that you did that. I really appreciate it. So haven't heard about stadium stuff in a while, and it's been kind of dry recently for Commanders news, but let's talk about this. So $3 billion deal is close. Commanders are going to contribute up to $2.5 billion, which is really good because I know a lot of people, when the stadium deals are announced, they're upset, they're going to have to pay, in their tax dollars for the stadium. And in this case, still maybe pay for a little bit. I don't know, necessarily where that other $500 million is going to come from. I'm assuming it's taxpayers, but maybe it's another, comes from another place. But that they're paying for a lot of it. The Commanders are, and let's go ahead and go over this information, and then I'll talk about some draft stuff, some other guys they're meeting with, stuff like that. So we read the first part. The deal isn't final as negotiations are going on, so the number could change. But multiple sources familiar with the deal said that the mayor Bowser and the Commanders have the framework for a deal in place that would see the team paying the vast majority of the cost to build a new stadium, and much of the money provided by the city going for infrastructure that will support the entire 180-acre development. So that's really good, really cool there. The district would provide up to $850 million. DC funding would go towards that are referred to as eligible capital costs. You guys can read some of that stuff. It's just the nitty gritty and stuff like that. But basically, the Commanders themselves are funding almost all of the stadium. The DC will help a little bit, but a lot of that is infrastructure and stuff around the stadium, which will help the development of the city, is their hope. And so at a press conference Monday, Bowser announced the 2026 budget is complete and ready to go to DC Council. So, hey, things are progressing, and things have been going in the right direction for a little minute now, but it looks like now it's all, it's basically a done deal that this is going to happen, that the Washington Commanders are going back to DC where they won 3 Super Bowls. Obviously, they're still the Washington Commanders right now. They're still, Washington team, but they don't play in Washington. They play in Landover, Maryland, which, I'm sorry, I know a lot of y'all are from Maryland, but this is not the best spot to play when you got a lot of your fan base in Virginia and DC. I think DC is a good middle ground, and obviously, the team name starts with Washington. That's the city they're supposed to play in, and I know other teams play in cities that they're not, that's not their name, but still, I think it's best to play in the city that you're supposed to play for, and that's Washington. They won 3, the Redskins won 3 Super Bowls at RFK. It was one of the best stadiums in terms of, atmosphere. I never went to a Redskins game there, obviously, but have been there before for other sporting events. It's a good stadium. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of work to be done. They were going to tear it down. They, I believe they did tear a lot of it down. Not completely sure there, but I know, obviously a lot of work is going to have to be done. And they said 2030 is the information that I saw. Let's see, let me control F, 2030, 2030. So that's when I get the deal calls for a stadium and stadium parking to be completed by fall 2030. So hey, that is pretty, I'm not saying it's close, but, because it's still over 5 years, but, it's 2025 right now. So, we've been talking about a stadium for a while and how it would take a long time, 6, 7, 8 years to be built. But now it's 2025. We're 5 years away from that 2030 mark. So, for it to be done by fall 2030, I think that's pretty good. and yeah, like would take 5 years. So they would play the 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029 seasons. So 5 seasons would be played in Landover, and or maybe it's, you know, potential other spot if, you know, they can't, you know, the lease or whatever isn't agreed till then, but I believe it is. And then the last year, 2030, so, you know, the 6th season would probably be in the new stadium. Maybe before. Maybe they would be able to do it in the 5th season, but probably 2030, fall of 2030. The 2030 season is when they will be playing in that new stadium in RFK with probably going to be a dome. So once they finally confirm it, which is looking like it's basically done, when they'll confirm it, then we'll start to hear more and more about plans for the stadium, you know, what they want around the stadium, restaurants that will be around the stadium. More importantly, what the stadium will look like. Will it be a dome, which, you know, looks, or a retractable roof at least, which is looking like that's going to be the case because they want to host a Super Bowl, stuff like that. So that's, and you know, they're going to host concerts and stuff. So that's what it's looking like right now, is, you know, what's going to be the focus after the deal is, you know, officially completed. All right, what does the stadium look like? What are the cool features that this stadium has? Because, you know, the new stadiums, you're putting a lot of money in. $3 billion, that's a lot of money. So what is that $3 billion going to get you besides, you know, a run-of-the-mill stadium? What's going to be that, you know, wow factor? Are there going to be multiple wow factors? I'm excited. This group, you know, I definitely have faith in them to, you know, make a good stadium and, you know, add some cool things besides just the retractable roof, which, you know, probably will be included, and I'm fine with that. You know, I don't want the whole NFL to go to a retractable roof because you like to see the snow games, but that doesn't really even happen in DC that much. So I think it's fine to have a retractable roof, and you know, limits those rain games and stuff like that, which the rain games do get frustrating. And yeah, you know, excited for this. And, you know, if you guys have any cool features you think would be, you know, interesting to have, let me know in the comments section below. Like I said, you know, retractable roof is one. You know, I know that the Rams got the 360 jumbotron kind of thing. They got that. They got some other stuff. You know, they'll definitely do some stuff for fan experience. But yeah, we'll wait and see for that. All right, and this is just a, you know, picture, I guess. I don't know why I clicked on that. But let's go to some of the draft news. So Seth McLaughlin, center, is virtually visiting with the Commanders. He played Ohio State. Center, let's see, Pat Bryant visit with the Commanders. Wide receiver, top 30 visit, so a big physical wide receiver. Trey Harris visiting with the Commanders, so SEC receiver, over 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns in 8 games. That's really good production. I'm sorry, 1,000 yards in 8 games, 7 touchdowns. Had a touchdown a game. You know, he'll be a second-round pick, most likely is what he will be. But you know, definitely still to be determined what, you know, where the Commanders go in that second round. Caleb Johnson, they met with him. I'm just reading through the list here. Commanders had Jahad Barron in town for the top 30 visit. You know, one of the better cornerbacks in this draft. Daquan Felton, Virginia Tech, you know, receiver, had a, you know, private workout with the Commanders. He's like a late round guy. He's not getting drafted on day 1, day 2, probably not early day 3. I would say like a 5th, 6th, 7th round pick to undrafted, but I think he'll get drafted. But that's just another name to watch out for as well. But that is it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a video. Peace.